RV&FJ plus reviews.
There's something wrong with the emission system. The pump or the pump switches for the secondary air pump aren't working correctly. So unfortunately what I have to do is address it, but it's insanely expensive. My local dealer said it would be between $3,000 and $5,000 depending on how many parts were needed to be replaced, which I'm sure they're going to say it's every part, how much labor it will cost to do it. So I looked around and I found a solution for it. So we're going to try to install that solution today. In the dashboard, it says that the stability controller and something wrong with the engine. And also, when I shut it off, usually I hear the secondary air pump go, wow. Doesn't do that anymore. So it's either being told not to, it's not getting the signal to do it, or it's failed completely. The other thing that it could be one of the switches could not be working, so the switches aren't opening and closing the valve to the exhaust system, and the pump knows not to try to push on a closed switch, creating back pressure. But I don't know which one it is. So let's find out together. First thing we're going to need to take care of is to disconnect the battery. The reason is that this piece right here, this piece of electronics, and there's a bolt right there to undo this bracket, and we'll put the new electronics on this bracket and reuse one of these two connectors. The other one will go dormant. The other piece that we need to take care of, it is hidden. Here it is, right there. So this piece right here this is the switching unit right here. We will have to disconnect something right there. These two bolts will have to be loosened, and then there'll be a block-off plate that will go in there. The electronics for it, you got me. I believe it's underneath the cover back here, so we'll have to try and check that out. And then over here is the pump. And you can see that the pump is hooked up with these hoses, and there's some electronics that goes to it. Now here's on the other side, here is the other one that we'll have to disconnect, and then the wiring. I'm not sure if it's this or if it's underneath here, but we'll underneath this cover, but we'll find it. Now this on most people's will be on the other side of the air cleaner here. And then there'll be a little spigot, I forget where it is, I think right here, that you fill your windshield washer fluid. But because I have this huge bumper on here, and it's tucked way under here, unlike the original one, which would have come out way out here and hung way down here, and that's where the bottle was originally. The bottle got moved to here, which meant that the pump had to be relocated here. In this new system, the pump should be removable and not needed anymore. It'll be done electronically instead of mechanically. So hopefully I can remove this, because this is a great area, a nice great dead space. Most people put batteries here, but what I want to do is build a basket to put extra fluids in, so I don't have to carry them inside. So if I wanted to put in like a couple of bottles of oil, maybe some antifreeze, power steering fluid, penetrating oil, that kind of stuff, it'd be nice to have a basket right here that I could put all that in, where it's tucked away out of the way. If this works out and I can remove this completely, and then I can regain the space that I lost by moving this here. Excuse how dirty this is. Let's start it up. And you can see the check engine light is on, maintenance required light, the traction control light, and the check engine light. All of those are on now because of this problem. So let's see if we can make all those lights go away. Let's start with getting this battery taken off. Next step, pop this up and pull it out. Disconnect this wire here. There it goes. There's one, there's two. Let's put those aside for now. This bracket is a 10mm bracket. Oh, good, it is 10mm. Wow, is that on there good. Ugh. There we go. There's the bolt, there's the electronics. This is the bracket, so I'm gonna have to unscrew this from this piece and put the new controller on this. Here is the new kit. This is the new module. I don't know if you can see it through that darkened plastic. Here is the new wiring harness that we'll install. Here's the instructions, and you can see this is what the module looks like, and this is the new wiring harness and the extensive instructions. Now at the time that I purchased this, it was about $450. They happened to be having a sale, so it was a little bit less expensive, but not by much. But every bit helps, especially since it was going to be $3,000+ at the dealership. Then there is the block-off plates that I have to install, some zip ties to hold everything down, and then a couple of gifts. Looks like I got a little flashlight and a pen. I'll take it. These two are not going to both be used, only this larger, longer one. This one gets this cap that closes over it because it's no longer being used, and then they recommend taping this over so that this cap doesn't fall off, although it would have to be pinched. It is using the factory pinch piece. I'd have to actually press that in to get it out, but let's do what they say. Maybe it's more about waterproofing, so I like to use this top of the line Scotch Super 33 Plus tape. It stretches farther and lasts longer than any other tape that I've ever found. Now I'm sure there's something else out there that I don't know about, but this you can get almost anywhere. If there's anything better, I don't know about it and I wouldn't know where to get it. Maybe Amazon, who knows. You can get this at Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon. Most hardware stores carry it too, and it comes in a lot of colors too. What I like about it is when you pull on it, it stretches quite a bit and conforms to whatever you're using it on. So you can pull it tight and wrap it around, and it really does a good job of conforming. Hopefully that'll do a nice job with the double layer. Next thing I gotta do is I gotta take this off and mount the new one on there. There's the other screw, there's the bracket, and there's the old module. Again, I don't know if this is the problem or if it's something else, but this is quite expensive. Here are the screws that came with it. Here's the new piece. Seems to be really well made, and it also seems to be fairly waterproof, but I don't 100% know if it is or not. I don't know if you can see that. You see that right there, a recessed bolt hole? So I'm going to take one of the bolts and put it in the recessed bolt hole. Line these holes up. Now I'm ready to reinstall this right there. Alright, so let me see if I can get this bolt started. Alright, so the new control module is installed. It's in place. And then we have the old wiring harness, one blocked off, the other one by itself. Let's connect the old 6-pin wire to the new module. Oh, there it goes. And then it clicked. Let me just double check, push on it real good. Yep, that's on there good. Alright, so the second one, which we're not using the factory one anymore, but the second one off of this will go to the new wiring harness. Here's the new harness. There's a single connector here, I believe that's what I'm looking for, and then 2 double connectors for the motor. Just toss this over the motor. Get this behind everything so that it comes around and connects to this. There it is, I heard a click. Seems to be on there nice. Go behind, route this around to the electronics on this side, and then this one will go way over there to the electronics on the other side. I guess we're gonna go under these hoses, come out here. All right, I got this one coming from the other side. So here is the other side of the harness, and you can see it's got 2 plugs. One is for the switch and the other one is for the harness. So now I just got to figure out where it looks like it's this right here. Just got to push in. I heard it click. There it goes. Came off. There it is. So let's go from here. One goes onto the harness. So this one must be the harness. Yep, there it goes. Clicked into place. And one goes into the switch. And then we'll just kind of zip tie these things up and away. Here's the switch. And right here is the plate, right? I have to block this off so that the air can't get in there. So You have to back these two 10mm bolts off a little bit, and they are drop-in plates. Drop them in, retighten it, and you should be done. This uses two different size plates depending on the setup that you have. There's a piece of tape here that says, you know, that you only need one of the two, don't use both. Well, there is like no room in here. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, now to pull this back. There we go. That's not enough. Need to screw this a little bit more. Let's see if we can pull that back enough now. Yep, looks like we can. Let's pull this back and slip this in if I can. Almost in there. The screwdriver to push it the rest of the way home. Pull this back out and push it down. Now there's a gasket in here. I don't know if I'm supposed to leave it in there. You can see there's a tab right here and here that holds on to this. So I have to assume that this block-off plate goes away from it. Oh, look at this. This is all rusted and corroded right here. This must be the reason why it failed. Yeah, there's an actual hole right in it, right there. I wonder if that's a problem. I hope that most likely water's gotten in here, but does that mean water's getting into the engine from here? I'll have to look into that. I don't like that. Snug these down by hand a little. Let's see if I can tighten this up. All right, that's one. Yeah, I don't like this. This has got to be the problem right here. I can't believe how much rot there is there. I worry that this is a problem, that's still not going to fix the issue because there's a hole in it. I don't know if you can see that on in the camera, but right there, I can actually put my finger a little bit into it and see the corrosion right there. I think that's the issue, but I wonder if that's still going to be an issue. Alright, so got this other side loosened. Just gonna pull it away. Maybe if I start wedging this in there, it'll make the room. There it goes. Let's push this down the rest of the way. There we go. That's in there good. Okay, done. That was way easier than I expected. And of course, the pessimist in me makes me think it didn't work because it was too easy. Fingers crossed that this thing just starts and runs good. I'm gonna give it a try. All right, please work. Please work. Yep. Is it working? The lights have gone out. The other lights have gone out. And it sounds better too. This could be it. Fingers crossed. All right, I'm gonna go with this was it, and that we're back to normal. You can see here the dash. And so I still have to fill the tire. Oh my God, look how dirty that is. This thing needs a cleaning. Check engine light's out. Stability control light is out. I still need to change oil. I still need to fill the tires with air, but I'll take care of that before I go. But that's great. Fingers crossed, this might be the solution. I hope it is. All right, hopefully I have no problems on the way home. Still gonna stay on the back roads. I'm not gonna trust it on the highway. I'd hate to break down on the highway. So, I'm gonna try and drive this home and see if it works. Fingers crossed. I got the feeling that it's gonna work out fine. And if it doesn't, we'll let you know. So it worked. I got home, no problem. Everything worked on it. I am excited. Thank you, Hewlett Technology. You did a great job.